You whether you've experienced any form of harassment at your place of work. I see your feedback, keep it coming. At Karanja Jackson on Twitter says sexual harassment in newsrooms is not just an issue of workplace misconduct, it's an affront to journalism's core principles of truth and integrity. And then Eric Homegrown on Facebook says not even once. Should I say good for you, Eric? Thank you for your feedback. Keep it coming. TV47 Kenya on Facebook, TV47 News on Twitter, and at Grace KE on Twitter. All right, so we still have Kelechi with us from all the way from Nigeria. Thanks for staying with us. Let's talk about, Kelechi, once again, the situation between the men and the women, because I will give you an interesting comment that I got from one of my colleagues who I will graciously not mention. But, you know, I was asking people, have you experienced any form of harassment? Do you know someone who has? And the man was like, I would actually love to experience it, you know. It was a joke, but why do we get same reactions from men in Nigeria, Kelechi?
Well, I don't know. I'm just short of saying it's some level of insanity that I don't understand. But that being said, you know, the men's faults are different from women in most ways, and I say so because our level of thinking, Africa and Nigeria particularly, we live in a male-dominated, a patriarchal society. So women are seen more as the subtle beings, or the beings that should be nurtured, handled with care. Now, when a man finds it desirable, you know, when a woman approaches him, or when a woman makes advances at him, but on the other side, a woman might not find it as desirable, especially if she's not attracted to the man, and especially if the man is of a higher position or in a higher position than the woman. For instance, your boss comes to you and starts making passes at you and wants you to, you know, perhaps have sex with him or have some form of relationship with him. It's difficult to say no. For most people, it's difficult. It's either you say no and you get bullied or harassed and, you know, intimidated, or you go ahead with the relationship against your will. So unfortunately, women are seen as the weaker vessels. That's how it's put here. So they're seen as the weaker vessels. Even though women are beginning to stand up for themselves, they're beginning to make more impacts in society, but we still have, you know, situations where they're being undermined. And until we begin to look into those problems, I mean, they will continue to thrive, Grace.
Right. Thank you, Kelechi. Okay, so Christina, I'll come to you on the policy, but I want us to exhaust the problems first before we move to the solution. So patience, allow me, because that report by Women in News was amplified by AMWIK. I mean, most of us got to learn about it through AMWIK. Talk to us about the situation on the ground, the real situation on the ground, for both women and men. Because on Tuesday, allow me to mention this, even though I didn't consult you earlier, you'll be speaking with the men. They say, allow us to speak out. We have a story to tell. It's going to be a closed-door meetup. I would have loved to be part of it. But talk to us about how the situation is on the ground.
Yeah, well, if you talk to me nicely, I might invite you for that closed-door meeting.
I want to be there. Patience.
Yeah.
Should I request on national television? You can't say no.
I can't say no.
It's okay.
But, well, it's come a time, and as we say, when you listen to Kelechi, it's the fact that for a long time, women have been victims. But now, men are also finding their voice, and they're saying enough of us being told all the time we're the perpetrators. Even us, we have experienced sexual harassment. And for the first time, I got, when we have done a new report that is coming out most likely next week, and we are also just amplifying, picking up from the One IFRA report, just sustaining the conversation. Because every time we have a report and then we talk about the report and then it ends there, the conversation ends. So you're almost doing, you know, it's an event and then it finishes. But yet the voice continues. So we have amplified the conversation once again based on the report that we're doing, and we have done a research that 240 people have responded to the research. Very good feedback. I just got the report this evening, so I have done a quick run through.
I appreciate that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love research at a personal level. So all the time I'm very fascinated by the findings. But of course, let's go back to what the WANIFRA report had said, indicated that in Africa, and when you're talking about Africa, a number of countries were sampled, and Kenya was topping at 56% when it comes to sexual harassment within the newsrooms, and then followed by Botswana at 52%, followed by Zambia at 51%, and then we had Uganda at 49%, and Tanzania at 40%.
Patience, you said Kenya tops the list.
Yes, Kenya tops the list. And then Rwanda was listed at 27%.